Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to this new edition of the morning briefing. Let's do a recap of what has happened. Rumors continue to circulate that are causing a market-driven effect. By now, it's something that we all know, and we must acknowledge this new situation. Yesterday, the day started with a nice bullish tone. In short, a consequence resulting from Trump's statements. And it had given a good bullish push, but as we anticipated in yesterday's morning briefing, the problem was only partially resolved. It was somewhat superficial because the real problem, the real core issue, regarding the matter, it is important to note that DASI E was simply postponed for a short period because at the moment these agreements, these negotiations have been initiated with many countries, but not with the two main competitors at this time, which are primarily China and the European Union at this current juncture. So much so that, in short, the market has indeed labeled it this way, meaning that there has certainly been the news and the upward trend, but then in the afternoon the movement was completely erased and continued last night, leaning precisely on the opening in gap already this morning. Now later we will conduct a more detailed analysis. What else to say? The situation remains certainly concerning also from an import perspective. I was reading an article that practically the flow of goods arriving at the port of Los Angeles from China is slowing down very quickly. And it even raises fears of a situation similar to what was experienced during the pandemic with COVID, when supermarket shelves were empty. And in short, there was great concern. The data I read were these practically the week of May 3rd. So for the next week sees a reduction in the arrival of goods at the port of Los Angeles from China by 38% week over week and 9.7% year over year for the week. Instead, that goes from the 10th, from May 10th even, a minus 35% year over year. So in short, the situation of concern from Besant is understandable. He is trying to commence some negotiations with these two main competitors as soon as possible in an effort to reach an agreement. We will see what the developments of this situation might be, and hopefully fruitful. From a macroeconomic point of view, today there is the data on unemployment benefit claims. There is the sale of existing homes in the United States. These are the two relevant macro data. And then there is, after the close, the quarterly report of Alphabet, therefore of Google. We will see what the results will be and how they will be interpreted by the market. Perfect, with this forecast made. Premise. Let's take a look in short from a technical point of view, starting with the Nasdaq. This is a chart. At the moment, we are on a 5-minute chart. We switched to a 4-hour chart. But essentially, in short, the situation has remained the same. We are working in this island, which, in short, is the result of this gap. At the moment, if we look at it on a chart, on a 5-minute chart, perfect. I saw it earlier. In short, it seems to be shaping up nicely. And shoulders in this island, at least on a 5-minute chart, where we quickly sketch it with the highlighter. In short, the left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder is higher. Let's say it's not clear, we can draw here. So be careful, because in short, this head and shoulders pattern has a range of about 600 points, which, if reversed downward, could bring the price to have this as a target, around 18,000. Basically, so we monitor this area, certainly, in short. It might also, in short, stop at the gap closure, then go back up. In short, we will see what could be, what the developments will be. Upward, obviously. In short, maintaining this level is crucial, so the SD1 area is essential to hold already today. We are already working on it now. It will fluctuate, and we are messing with it. Just wait a little. Let's have a bit of. Here it is. Perfect. So as I was saying, we are already working on it with a channel, as I showed in the video tutorial. These are the channels resulting from the Ancholine Reg indicator, which is dictating this descending channel to us. So we monitor this level downward, upward, obviously. We monitor the first peak that needs to break the one in the RD0 area, and so breaking this could certainly lead to a test of RD1. So the 19,000 area, which is the main obstacle where it more or less stopped yesterday. In short, it absorbed the prices and then went down. Perfect. Let's move on to ES, which is in a similar situation. Again, I won't draw it, but it's a similar pattern. Okay. With SD0, in this case, serving as the neckline, we've already touched it twice, tested it twice. So absolutely at maximum attention here. Obviously, on the downside, the projection of this head and shoulders pattern, which goes from 380 to 490, is 10 points. So roughly 110 points, meaning 380 flipped downwards would be approximately 290. And we would end up in this area here, roughly around SD2. We will see what developments might occur. It's really complicated because at any moment a statement could come that completely overturns the situation for you. So we monitor this area of 53, 70, 35, 63, 60. As for the upward movement, obviously we monitor RDRD0 of 1. In short, this seems to be the area to surpass because it corresponds to this area of these two peaks here before this surge, which was then immediately retraced. And in short, it corresponds to these last two peaks resulting from the decline. So these are the two peaks to surpass at this moment. Perfect. Let's move on to the other two American whistles. Here they come. Perfect. This is the Dow Jones. Here, in short, we are already moving. In short, the gap is almost about to close. In short, it's not far off. So it's already sliding down with maximum attention because here too, this pattern will be configured. In short, which was broken, then retested, and is starting to move in a bearish direction. Certainly here are 34 and 4, 4 and 30. So with the SD1 area, you have the area to monitor at this moment because in short, it seems clear and evident to me. So I would monitor this area here. On the upside, of course, we are going to monitor the area of these two highs here. In the 40,000 area, it could easily, in short, recover a little HV, which then represents these lows here and these recent highs here, perhaps in the morning while waiting for the market to open. Let's see what developments there will be for these futures as well. Let's move on to the Russell. Here it is. Here too. Situation more similar to the Dow Jones. It too, in short, has started to break through the Tuesday's opening. Now it's working below it, precisely, but testing it. It coincides with the HW 1926 level, so we are monitoring the recovery of this area. It could easily allow a recovery of RD0 as well to then possibly aim. In short, RD1, if it finds, well, a bit of momentum. Rise. If the market obviously remains in the hands of the bears, as in recent days, probably in short, we might also witness a test of this area here therefore, with SD1, which then coincides with this area. Here is the exit from the triangle, so absolutely area 1900 to hold for now, with an upward target of 1945, in short 1945 to 1950, and the area to monitor. Okay, let's now move on to the European futures of the DAX that we are currently following are a bit more upbeat. In short, some good data has come from the quarterly reports that are being released in Europe. And in short, the market has been open for about half an hour. In short, it is still trading above. You can see from the island that has formed with this gap. So it can still be worked on SD1. At this moment, it is the level that seems to be intended for testing. Probably, so this is definitely the area I would monitor, because holding this area could easily provide a push up to a test of HW and then decide there. The break, obviously, of SD1 could also easily lead the price to close this gap, thus into the SD2 area. A little further down, 21,720. Perfect. Let's move on to oil. Here it is. The RAT has taken a good beating, probably also as a consequence, in short, of these statements about the economic slowdown resulting from this whole situation, probably also due to the era of the data on crude oil that was out yesterday, which frankly I don't remember. I didn't look at it in detail. And we were saying, in short, the situation here is a bit more unusual. The important thing is having held this 6150. Certainly then you see the whole area that was exited here was returned to be retested. Then the bullish momentum was found. It came to retest it, so it held. In short, absolutely positive. So much so that since yesterday. Then, in short, it started now. Then it digested a little. The price now, since this morning, in short, at the opening of the European market, surged upwards. It went to retest RD1, which then corresponds to these lows here, and to these lows here. Therefore, the break of RD1 could easily bring prices back to the 6370 area, which is the area of these highs here, and thus of this gap here that was left open on Tuesday. Open, which then in short was obviously closed, but it could certainly go to retest this area here if it were to pass this RD1 area, because absolutely, well, it's difficult, it's tough to pass, precisely because it has already been previously tested, so it has been felt multiple times. We might probably also witness a retracement down to the zero area, perhaps to retest HW, precisely this area here, to then restart. Okay, to the downside, obviously we monitor 6150. This seems to me a very clear area with the SD1 area. Let's go take a look at them. Okay. For the moment, let's remove these lines. Not these, but not these either. Here it is. Okay. Perfect. Well, yesterday it took quite a hit because there was a large liquidation. I read about Goldman Sachs on Goldman Sachs ETFs. So a lot of liquidation on large positions, and so probably this triggered this nice sell-off on gold. Yesterday, well, throughout the whole day yesterday, but it already started Tuesday night, there was a bit of recovery that brought the prices, well, already at the high levels. Then it retraced. We are still working here above, testing these highs here that were the last ones before. Then, well, the final peak, and, well, it could be positive. Here, the holding of these levels, so with RD1. Yes, absolutely, RD1 must hold in order to then, well, consider possibly going to test the 393 area, 3,400. Because, well, then the break of 3,400 could easily bring prices back up to the downside. So we obviously monitor this here. This of the informed PV, SD1 and SD0 are proposed. So this is the area to monitor on the downside. Next, obviously, well, the first one we are going to monitor is this one between RD1 and RD0, because then it corresponds. Here it is in this area here and this area here that gave the momentum to this initial recovery. So we monitor this area here as support. At this moment, they were resistances, but now they have become support because it rotates. And so we monitor them in this case. In the event of a break, obviously, there is this other important support to monitor. Okay, let's look at SP. Perfect. Yesterday, well, that triangle we had always drawn. Well, we had opened nicely high. In short, it was broken upwards. Then we went back in, tested. We are still inside. Maybe there could be a bit of compression, probably due to the anticipation of these agreements, of these meetings to resolve these issues. And we'll see from which side. Then it will exit symmetrically to the AA to the future S. Upwards at this moment. The area to monitor in short is definitely that of RD0, today. As levels to the downside, I would monitor SD1. In short, the break of SD1 could easily lead back no prices. Here, in this area of SD2, immediately. The situation is quite concerning also for the ESP. Just to give you a look. Today I posted in the chat the levels of this new level for free. A section that I will offer starting from May 8th. They are levels. For crypto, I will offer Bitcoin, USD, Ethereum, USD, Solana USD, and XRP USD. These are today's levels. In short, you can easily apply the assistant and the anchor lean reg, which I do not provide levels for the volumes. But you do it. No, just insert it. In short, it will do it automatically because I don't have sufficiently precise data to extrapolate them differently from how it is set. However, it works reasonably well. Well, you can already look at it from what you see here. These are today's levels, so I wish you a good test. You can confirm it a bit, compare notes for those who do it. Because in short, I received many requests, so I decided to start launching this thing that for the moment, in short, they are free until May 10th, then they will have, in short, a separate level. And also, in short, you can subscribe to it on Boss Patreon, obviously. As always, we have reached the end of this morning briefing. I wish you a good day of trading, as always. Exercise maximum caution. Leave a like on the video. We'll catch up later in the chat. Thank you all for your attention.